Mwamba storms a Kasama Central Police Station to understand why a PF official has been arrested. ECL's bodyguard committed to the High Court. Jerome Kanyika accuses ZAMSA management interim of incompetence. KCM provisional liquidator Milingolungu pleads not guilty to 6 new charges of theft. Biswell Matale says that the PF has reached beyond redemption in its current form. Truck drivers calls on government to rehabilitate Serenje to Rapula Road. And now the news in detail. Patriotic Front PF presidential hopeful Emmanuel Mwamba Monday morning stormed the Kasama Central Police Station to query the recent arbitrary arrest of its high-profile officials in the area. This follows the arrest of Abraham Samukoko on what he terms as unjustifiable reasons since Friday. Mr. Mwamba claims UPND cadres in Kasama have been beating, abducting PF members and surrendering them to the police after beating them up and robbing them of personal properties. He was accompanied by PF officials in Kasama. Efforts to get a comment from Northern Province Police Command failed by broadcast time.
Thank you very much. We are here at Kasama Central Police Station, where one of our officials was arrested. He was picked by UPND cadres. His name is Abraham Simsokwe. Abraham was in the company of our constituency chairperson, Councillor Tandizan Mbewe here. And even in the process, the councillor lost his wallet and money, driving licenses, and other things. The reason we have come to the police was to lay a complaint to the police commissioner for Northern Province that he has allowed party cadres to conduct these arrests and have people locked up in state facilities. We think that that's a role of the police. If any person was injured or has an official criminal complaint against any of the PF members, they should lay such a complaint to the police. They should not take the law unto their own hands. In the case of Boyka here, similarly, that's what happened. The cadres picked him up, beat his daughter, and locked him up in the police. And when he was taken to the courts of law, he's been acquitted. But the police have not processed the case of Boyka and the assault that the party cadres did on his daughter. We've also laid the complaint to the police that the work of the police should not be driven by UPND cadres. I think this is something Zambians have rejected. They rejected it under the PF. They've rejected it even under this government. So why should the police allow themselves to be used by?
A pharmaceutical expert has charged the interim management at Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA, does not qualify to run the institution whose role is to distribute, procure, and manufacture drugs. Mr. Kanyika says that this is evidenced by the continued shortage of drugs in health facilities, despite the recent restructuring of ZAMSA. He has alleged having incompetent people running ZAMSA has led to lack of drugs in health facilities, despite government releasing over 6 million kwacha for the procurement of drugs.
Thank you. We need to know very well that as we are talking and as we are where we are standing right now, there is no any institution in the country that can come and say that they have medication, and these institutions are public institutions. So the members of the public are moving from one place to another without finding the drugs in the hospitals. And this is bringing a lot of panic to members of the public. Not only that, on the other hand, the government has released about 657 million kwacha for the procurement of drugs. But due to incompetency at the management and ZAMSA, and the management not knowing what they are supposed to do, we have subjected the poor Zambian people to to these stockouts of the drugs and shortages of the medication, and have been put on record, and I've been speaking to say the interim management at ZAMSA has no capacity to sort out the problems, and what was needed to be done quickly by the board at ZAMSA is to make sure that they put up a very credible management that is going to start sorting out and dismantling problem at ZAMSA as compared to the way it is. But unfortunately, what did we see? We saw the incompetent management being put in place. For example, how do you have the management that deals with procurement, distribution, and manufacture of drugs without any professional that is at the center of this manufacturing? That's very much unacceptable. How can you have management without a pharmacist in it? That's something very much unacceptable. And what is happening? The Zambian people, the members of the public, are the one who are suffering. The members of the public are the one who are going to the hospitals without getting the medications. And now we are having people dying in hospitals due to lack of these medications. Well, the government of the Republic of Zambia have so far released 657 million kwacha, a huge amount of money for the procurement of drugs. But due to incompetence of the management at ZAMSA, there are no drugs in hospitals. I think seriously overall at Ministry of Health need to be done quickly so that we can save the Zambian people. Thank you.
Meanwhile, Medical for Quality Healthcare in Zambia, MQHZ, has expressed disappointment over the shortage of some essential drugs in almost all public clinics and hospitals countrywide. MQHZ Director General Dr. Quincy Mwabo says a survey conducted indicates in the last 2 weeks most essential drugs have run out, a situation that has caused many to receive prescriptions. Dr. Mwabo says the health institutions are now more consultancy center, adding it is an assault on the drive for universal health coverage. He says the Ministry of Health must be held accountable over this very unfortunate situation.
We are very disappointed as MQHZ with a critical shortage of drugs in the hospitals and clinics, and this is very sad, and it's an assault to the drive of universal health coverage in the country. And the Ministry of Health, through Zambian Medicine and Medical Supply Agency, they need to be held accountable for this very unfortunate situation, because people are dying in the community because there is no drugs in the hospital and clinics, and they are failing to access these drugs in the hospitals and clinics, and it's very unfortunate. And the Minister of Finance, they have already funded the Zambian Medicine and Medical Supply Agency to procure drugs for the people of Zambia. But there is still a shortage of drugs in the hospital and clinics, and it is worrying. So we challenge the Zambian Medicine and Medical Supply Agency to procure drugs for the people of Zambia as quickly as possible before the situation gets worse. People in the rural community, they are dying because of this situation. So drugs must be in the hospitals and clinics without any excuse, because if we continue in the same situation, it will be very bad, and we are going to lose a lot of lives. So we need urgently the drugs and other medical supplies in these clinics and hospitals across.
Patriotic Front PF presidential hopeful Biswell Mutale has charged his parties beyond redemption in its current form, like at the alleged arrogance persistence by some senior leaders to the top positions of the party. Mr. Mutale says the leadership of the PF and its Central Committee membership should instead step aside for now to allow new people with fresh blood before even talking about holding a convention. He says a failure, the PF would die just like other former ruling parties in the country. Meanwhile, Mr. Mutale says he will work hand in hand with any citizen fighting corruption in the country. He said this when he featured on Muvi TV's The Assignment program on Sunday evening.
But they never had the heart of the party. They never had it. And the mandate that they had was too personal to the patriotic front. Okay? This was only one way to eject President Edgar Chagwa, to eject him out. Okay? I was told by one of the officials, and someone sent me a WhatsApp to show me that, you know what, in this whole equation, you remain alone. You need to listen to us. You be a pawn. If you want to continue supporting the president, you be a pawn. He sent me, a chess pawn. He sent me that on my WhatsApp. I looked at it. I was not bothered because the president, he was the president of the party. And the patriotic front, it's us, the members, that should actually advocate for it. What was there is to remove within the party, is to remove President Edgar Chagwa. Anybody who supported the President Edgar Chagwa was the enemy of the certain group of the leadership within the party, not in the middle, but the total leadership. When I went out of my way to do the work I was doing in Munali, I was campaigning. When I go around in Munali, I saw a lot of challenges in Munali. A lot of challenges. Those challenges that I saw, I was on the ground. The people of Munali, they showed me those challenges, and I listened to them. Munali, it was like one of the villages that have never existed anywhere else in the planet. Munali, even today, Munali does not reflect the Zambian water standards to today. People that live in Munali, they are so behind in terms of development, in terms of receiving anything. The reason is very clear. The reason is very clear. I went in there and I opted to stand in there. I itemized things to be done. One was the road that was supposed to be done in Munali. I sent the engineers. I spent 150,000 kwacha, my own money, to put engineers on the ground to give me a report how we are going to deal with the road, to cover it up and also make it tarmac. That was a gift to people of Munali from this world. Secondly, I look at Munali constituents on the other side. There was no water, totally no water. I offered to take an initiative. I spoke to the community. I put the boreholes and we put the tap right through the market and the surrounding for the people to enjoy the water and so on. I'll tell you one thing. When we put that, they were supposed to blow under the tarmac. One of the officials went to the city council and they stopped the city council to do that. I went to the city council to find out. One of the officials is told me, Mr. Mutare, within your party there is a problem. There are those who are for the development and some are not for the development. I ignored it because I knew who it was. I went, after I got the report from the engineers about how to do the roads and so that's part of my job. I know it need to be done, but we need to have.
Kavoy Town Council has disclosed the underperformance by local in the collection of taxes is attributed by residential some property rates not being collected, thereby causing difficulties which has been rising from the time when the implementation evaluation rule was adopted. Speaking at the Committee on Local Government Accounts in Parliament, 7th March 2022, committee member Harry Kamboni, who is also Kalomo MP, says the council has come up with an act to invite all clients whose bills have wrong details to visit the Civic Center in Lusaka to collect their personal property details and bills printed in the wrong format. He adds the council has further gone in all residential areas to make sure that people are informed on the important assignments.
The cause of the query here, Chair, is that the underperformance is mainly attributed to residential property rates not being collected, and this has arisen from difficulties experienced during the implementation of the evaluation rule after it was updated. The challenges included inconsistencies in the client database in terms of what is contained in the evaluation rule and what is on the ground. The absence of the maps, which are the main guiding documents when the bills are being distributed. Illegal subdivision of properties, which lead to conflicting information on the ground against the content of the evaluation was also one of the challenges that was faced.
We take a break on that note. Still to come is more news items. Do not go away.
They'll play a high press to force the mistakes.
They'll dominate the aerial ball. They too tall. We will handle the pressure and smash them on the break.
The number 9 has scored in their last 5 games.
The passing will be quick, decisive, precisely. There will be drama in the dying minutes. This match will mean more than 3 points.
They will have the home ground advantage. This is why I bet.
This is why I bet.
This is why I bet.
Betway.
So here's how to pay using Airtel Money. Ensure your decoder is turned on and tuned to channel 1. Dial *778#, then select the option that says Make Payment. Select Pay TV, then select Muvi TV. Enter the 12-digit smart card number, then enter the amount you wish to pay. Enter the Muvi TV account number, omitting the dash before the last digit. Then select the amount you wish to pay.
For inquiries, call customer care on 0764 250055 or 0764 250052 or 0978 732 411 or 0978 732 412.
Fairview University College is enrolling students for the January-April 2022 intake in the following: School of Education, Bachelor of Education in Early Childhood Education, Bachelor of Education in Primary Education, Bachelor of Education in Secondary Education, Bachelor of Education in Special Education, Diploma in Early Childhood Education, Diploma in Primary Education, Diploma in Secondary Education, Diploma in Special Education, Certificate in Early Childhood Education, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, Diploma in Public Relations, School of Hotel and Tourism, Diploma in Food and Production, Diploma in Front Office, Diploma in Food and Beverages Management, Diploma in Hospitality and Events Management, and Diploma in Sales and Marketing. For more information, visit us at Regent College along Kwazi Road or the North Mid Campus at plot number 11 Luamba Road, Lusaka, or call us on 0955 787114 or 0966 787114 or 0977 787114. Fairview University College. We aim at excellence.
OneXBet. Anyone can get lucky.
Welcome back. In other news, former President Edgar Lungu's aide-de-camp, Chisanga Chanda, 53, has been committed to the Lusaka High Court for trial in a case he is accused of harboring the former head of state's barberman, Shabi Chilekwa, who is accused of murder. It is alleged that between 2019 and this year, Mr. Chanda, a deputy commissioner of police, allegedly received, assisted, or harbored Mr. Chilekwa, who was recently charged with murder. Mr. Chilekwa was recently charged with the offense of murder in connection with the death of Lawrence Banda, who was shot dead during 2019 council chairperson by-elections in Kaoma. When the matter came up for explanation of charge before Magistrate Dominic Makalita Monday morning, Mr. Chanda understood the charge. He was further told that he is only appearing for explanation of the charge, as the offense can only be tried by the High Court. Mr. Chanda was later committed to the High Court for trial.
Republican President Edgar Lungu's aide-camp Chisanga Chanda of Lusaka's Woodlands area has been committed to the Lusaka High Court for trial in a case he's accused of harboring the former head of state's Babaman Shebi Chilekwa, who is accused of murder. In this matter, it is alleged that between 6th of October 2019 and 4th of February 2022, Chanda, a former deputy commissioner of police, allegedly received, assisted or harbored Chilekwa, who is alleged to have been made a Lawrence Banda, a United Party for National Development UPND member. And when the matter came up for explanation of charge before Magistrate Dominic Makalicha, Monday morning, Chanda understood the charge and was told that he was only appearing for explanation of the charge, as the offense can only be tried by the High Court, and was later committed to the High Court for trial. Chilekwa was recently charged with the offense of murder in connection with the death of Lawrence Banda, a UPND member who was shot dead during 2019 council chairperson by-elections in Kauma district. So far, only Shebi Chilekwa, former President Edgar Lungu's Babaman, and former Patriot Front Deputy Secretary General Mumbipiri have been arrested and later charged with murder of Lawrence Banda. However, the two have been appearing before Kauma Magistrate Court. Margaret Chota, Muvi TV News in Lusaka.
Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Garin Kombo, has cautioned that there is a rise in vector-borne diseases such as malaria, especially in Lusaka. He says the increase in the population of mosquitoes in the district is worrying. Director of Health Promotions and Environmental Health and Social Determinants, Dr. Abel Cavallo, says health personnel will be on high alert for the disease, including the exercise of mass drug administration.
Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Garin Kombo, has cautioned that there is a rise in vector-borne diseases such as malaria, especially in Lusaka. He says the increase in population of mosquitoes is worrying.
Lately, I observed and received many reports of the increasing number of mosquitoes in our country. The situation in Lusaka indicates a very worrying state of affairs with regard to the increased mosquito population. We will enhance this program at the risk of communities such as Roma, Kalundu, Yunza, Olympia, Garden, Northmead, and other areas to mention but a few.
Statistics indicate that 300 people per 1,000 population are malaria positive. Nkombo says it is sad that many people have neglected malaria prevention guidelines, such as keeping surroundings clean to avoid mosquitoes.
If we do not take care of our immediate surroundings and environment, in terms of even management of solid waste and garbage, we are likely to see an increase of mosquitoes. And I'm pleased to say that me running the ministry that is responsible for that may speak a little bit more about the need for immediate hygiene.
With the malaria symptoms being similar to COVID-19 symptoms, such as high fever, Director for Health Promotions, Environmental Health and Social Determinants, Dr. Abel Cavallo, says health personnel will be on high alert for the disease, including the exercise of mass drug administration.
What we have been informing our clinicians is to ensure that they look at the human in full and ensure that other co-infections that they have, apart from COVID, are also looked after. And one of them is malaria, which presents with the fever. Similarly, COVID presents with the fever.
Meanwhile, COVID-19 advisor to the president, who is also the Zambia National Public Health Institute acting director, Professor Roma Chilengi, has encouraged Zambians aged 12 and above to go and get their COVID-19 vaccines.
We would like to believe that the vaccinations are also helping a lot, because we know the vaccines help reduce the severity of disease and also the transmissibility of the diseases.
Virginia Chilongo, Muvi TV News, Lusaka.
Kazungula residents have bemoaned the delay by the Patents and Companies Registration Agent, PACRA, in issuing out certificates registration to allow cooperatives apply for the community development funds. Speaking in an interview in Kazungula Church Nirongo, a member of a cooperative says that since last year, December, they have been waiting for their PACRA certificate, which they say they have been told to wait, citing the poor operation system. The residents say Kazungula continues to lag behind in terms of development, hence such programs should be highly embraced by the leadership in order to develop the area. On that note, we take a break. Still to come is more news items. Stay tuned.
Istana ya Afrika ya kupende chalo akamwana kanono nomsepela kuikala chapamo kuribe kumunzi kuribe mutauni kumatero aliyenze afunika.
The Zambia Statistics Agency will this year conduct the census across the country. The census aims to count people in households, rural and urban, hospitals, military, police and correctional facilities. This numbering will extend to hotels, farms, as well as high-density areas with different families sharing a house and those in transitory locations. Every person in the country matters and should be counted because the census will benefit all, from migrants, refugees and street children, homeless people, the young and the old people, as well as persons with disabilities. Everyone counts. This message is brought to you by the Zambia Statistics Agency.
So here's how to pay using Airtel Money. Ensure your decoder is turned on and tuned to channel 1. Dial *778#, then select the option that says Make Payment. Select Pay TV, then select Muvi TV. Enter the 12-digit smart card number, then enter the amount you wish to pay. Enter the Muvi TV account number, omitting the dash before the last digit. Then select the amount you wish to pay.
For inquiries, call customer care on 0764 250055 or 0764 250052 or 0978 732 411 or 0978 732 412.
Fairview University College is enrolling students for the January-April 2022 intake in the following: School of Education, Bachelor of Education in Early Childhood Education, Bachelor of Education in Primary Education, Bachelor of Education in Secondary Education, Bachelor of Education in Special Education, Diploma in Early Childhood Education, Diploma in Primary Education, Diploma in Secondary Education, Diploma in Special Education, Certificate in Early Childhood Education, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, Diploma in Public Relations, School of Hotel and Tourism, Diploma in Food and Production, Diploma in Front Office, Diploma in Food and Beverages Management, Diploma in Hospitality and Events Management, and Diploma in Sales and Marketing. For more information, visit us at Regent College along Kwazi Road or the North Mid Campus at plot number 11 Luamba Road, Lusaka, or call us on 0955 787114 or 0966 787114 or 0977 787114. Fairview University College. We aim at excellence.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Konkola Copper Mines, a provisional liquidator Melingo Lungu, has pleaded not guilty to 6 new charges of theft and money laundering involving more than 17 million. In this matter, Lungu, 43, a lawyer of Lusaka's Roma area, is facing 5 charges of theft and 1 count of money laundering. It is alleged in counts 1 to 3 that Lungu, on 26th, 27th, and 30th of July 2021, being the provisional liquidator of KCM, stole 15 million kwacha belonging to the mining company. And when the matter came up before Magistrate Jennifer Bwalia for plea, Monday morning, the accuser pleaded not guilty to the charges. Lungu, who is also facing another theft and money laundering case involving 4.4 million kwacha, was arrested by the Drug Enforcement Commission DEC for the second time in December 2021 for alleged theft of 17,250,000 kwacha.
Trial has commenced in the Lusaka Magistrate Court in a matter in which Konkola Copper Mines provisional liquidator Milungu Lungu is facing 6 counts of theft and money laundering involving more than 17 million kwacha. In this matter, Lungu, 43, lawyer of Lusaka's Roma area, is facing 5 charges of theft and 1 count of money laundering. It is alleged in counts 1 to 3 that Lungu on 26th, 27th and 30th of July 2021, being a provisional liquidator of KCM, stole 15 million kwacha belonging to the mining company. In the 4th count, Lungu is on the 6th August 2021 as the provisional liquidator of KCM allegedly stole 2 million kwacha belonging to KCM. Lungu is in the 5th count alleged to have stolen 250,000 kwacha on 10th of August 2021 from KCM using his position as a provisional liquidator. It is alleged in the last count that Lungu, on 10th of August 2021, possessed money more than 17 million kwacha cash, knowing the same was proceeds of crime. And when the matter came up before Magistrate Jennifer Bwalia for plea Monday morning, the accused pleaded not guilty to the charges. And after taking his plea, the court heard as the Narco Bank manager, Samia Ngumbo, as its first witness who explained to the court how Milingo Lungu opened an account with the Narco and the process which he followed. Lungu, who is also facing another theft and money laundering case involving 4.4 million kwacha, was arrested by the Drug Enforcement Commission DEC for the second time in December 2021 for alleged theft of money more than 17 million kwacha. However, trial continues to a later date. Margaret Schroeder, Muvi TV News in Lusaka.
United Party for National Development UPND Chairman for Religious Affairs, Kelly Mukonka, has called on the clergy and members of the public to pray against the spate of road accidents and suicide in the country. Speaking at the UPND Secretariat in Lusaka 7th March 2020, Pastor Mukonka says the spate of suicide has taken a lot of people, hence the need for the church to come together and pray. He adds the Road Transport and Safety Agency should take time and sensitize drivers across the country on the safety measures of driving.
Rasa should also up the game to make sure sensitization is given to most of the motorists, the drivers, and all those who are associated with the industry, to make sure sensitization is given by Rasa across the country so that our drivers should drive with safety measures wherever they are. There is another spell in the country of suicide. People hanging themselves in the communities. These are not settled well with the clergy, and we are busy castigating this spirit. It is not in good faith. It's a very bad spirit. But I also request psychologists to make sure they help us in that area. Carry a lot of civic awareness through the TV, through social media, so that people should feel counseled because
the Zambian Empowerment Hub for Entrepreneurship and Skills Training, ZEHEST, has asked the government to clear the nation on its position with regards to the ban of Mukula log. Organization's Executive Director, Clarence Muziamba, has alleged some trucks loaded with mukula log were seen leaving some border areas, while the government had enforced the ban on the product. Mr. Muziamba has demanded for government's position in order to clear public speculations. He has since appealed to government to quickly investigate the matter and ensure the way forward. Mr. Muziamba explained the country's wealth should benefit all citizens as opposed to favoring only few greedy individuals. He says a new Dawn government should not fall in the trap like the rumors in the past administration. And the organization has urged government to come up with citizens' economic empowerment policies that will enable citizens to benefit directly from the national cake.
Zambian Empowerment Hub for Entrepreneurship and Skills Training, a youth-led think tank non-governmental organization, we are disturbed and surprised to see that despite there being a ban on mukula, we have continued to see trucks loaded with mukula crossing our borders. We want to urge the government to ensure that they investigate this matter quickly so that a direction is given. Zambia's wealth is for Zambians. We don't want only a few individuals, greedy individuals, to benefit from our natural resources. It is not a mistake that God gave us all the beauties, the natural resources that we have here in Zambia. We, as a youth-led movement, and on behalf of our fellow young people, we are urging government to ensure that they come up with the clear local empowerment policies to ensure that local businesses, such as ourselves, as best, are able to get licenses whereby we can even trade in mukula and be able to pay our fair shares to Zambia Revenue Authority. And our country's GDP is going to rise.
Truck drivers traversing between Serenge to Lopolo Road have appealed to government to consider rehabilitating the road, just like it started doing in other major roads. Isaac Chama, one of the drivers, has told Muvi TV News the Serenge Road is in a deplorable state, especially near Mkuku Bridge, popularly known as a Tuta Bridge, hence the needs for serious attention before lives are lost. And another driver noted it is unfair for government to wait for disasters before taking serious action, like what happened in Pika, something he says which should not repeat itself.
Following the 4.5 million quota that government released to work on 4 roads, namely Kasumbalesa Road, Mpika, Ndola Dio Carriageway, and Nakonde Road, truck drivers using the Serenge Road that leads to Luapula Province have called on government to consider funding that road as well, as it is in a deplorable state.
So na kwa benengo basitako divizi batuma ko indarama ba government bawamisha ko musebole watu tarot tawaba bwini national for chiba to akwirisha ko omonga government musebo tudedira ko fuga tawamisha ko tarot.
Another driver explains how difficult it is for them to use the roads.
As passing through this road, Tuta Road. The Tuta Road is very bad. So we need the government to fix this road. We can't keep on moving on such a road because as I know, as a truck driver, we go through several problems according to the road. The situation is very bad.
This driver also adds to the call.
Ilakini wafundisheni pia kuwania ilia kasama mpika na kuno kwine ila the same drivers using the same road. So balingire na kuno kwine bakafunye pia bakatune kuno.
Hello, Chicha reporting for Maternal News in Mazadi.
You are still watching Muvi TV's Primetime News. We'll take a break, still to come as more news items. Do not go away.
akamwana kanono nomsepela kwikala chapamo kulibe kumunzi kulibe mutauni kumatero aliyense afunika.
The Zambia Statistics Agency will this year conduct the census across the country. The census aims to count people in households, rural and urban, hospitals, military, police and correctional facilities. This numbering will extend to hotels, farms, as well as high-density areas with different families sharing a house and those in transitory locations. Every person in the country matters and should be counted because the census will benefit all, from migrants, refugees and street children, homeless people, the young and the old people, as well as persons with disabilities. Everyone counts. This message is brought to you by the Zambia Statistics Agency.
We are delighted to add Lubumbashi and Goma to our network. Welcome aboard Rwandair, Africa's safest airline that will connect you to more than 24 destinations throughout the network.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
Unexpected. Anyone can get lucky.
Welcome back, and now the rest of the news. Papula Province Health Director Dr. Peter Bwalia says the province has recorded a reduction in maternal deaths. He says of 2018, the province recorded 78 deaths in 2019, 39 2020 to 21, and 19 maternal deaths were recorded. He says that the ministry has continued engaging the traditional leaders and the media in sensitizing expectant mothers to deliver in health facilities. Dr. Walia asked the Ministry of Health in the province will continue working on high interventions that will ensure that no mother dies while giving birth.
Province, we have made some strides. So if you look at the maternal deaths in absolute numbers, I can take you as far back as 2018. I think in 2018 itself we recorded 78 maternal deaths, and then by 2019 we had actually reduced that 78 to 39 maternal deaths, which was almost a 50% reduction. But then we have continued to engage, all stakeholders, traditional, leadership, and the media to sensitize our, expectant mothers to deliver, within facilities. And to that effect, from that 39 in 2020, we saw that in 2019, we saw a further reduction by 2020, where we recorded 21. Maternal deaths, which was a 50% reduction. And we have continued to still work very hard, such that in 2021, now we recorded the 19 maternal deaths. So if you look at the trends, I think the graph has been on the downward trend. And what we would want to see as a province is to simply get to, the most, minimal numbers, because every mother that dies, I think, while giving life, is just simply very tragic, and we wouldn't want to see any woman dying while giving, life. So we'll continue to work very hard, and we'll continue to implement very high impact interventions to make sure that we avert, the death of every mother that may actually.
School authorities in Kazangola district have been advised to help communities to take their children to school as a way of ending child marriages. Speaking during a tour of schools in Mukuni Chiefdom, Kantomboa Member of Parliament Clement Andereki has noted when children are kept busy with academic work, there will be less marriages in villages. Mr. Andereki adds that the UPND government will use education as a gateway to enhance personal and national development for all citizens. He has since advised the parents to allow their children attend education as it is now free. Meanwhile, over 100 aged women in Kazangula district have been supported with a meal as a part of this year's Women's Day celebrations by their area Member of Parliament, Clement Andereki. Mr. Andereki says that women have played a big role in society, hence they need to be appreciated by everyone. Chapter for the revival of Ndola City, President Chungu Kapema has called on government to focus on infrastructure development that would directly impact the recovery of the economy. Mr. Kapema has urged the government not to fail in the trap of focusing on infrastructure development that is driven by their desire to gain political mileage, but that government should focus on key roads such as the Lusaka Ndola, Nakonde, Kapiri Mposhi, Chingola, Chidila Bombwe, and Ndola Mufulira roads. Mr. Kapema says the rehabilitation of roads in mention will have an immediate positive impact on the economy. Mr. Kapema says the government to do extensive due diligence when shortlisting especially road contractors so that the country is not exhausted by paying unreasonable amounts of money for poorly done works, as the case has been seen for some time now.
Has been more to gain a political mileage. I think this time around, let's look at infrastructure that will help steer up the economy of this country. With particular references, the roads industry. You know, we need to work on roads and prioritize those that will bring about the much needed economic recovery. When you look at the Ndola Lusaka Road, for instance, the Nakonde Kapiri, Chingola Chilabombe, and not to forget the Mufia Ndola Road. These roads, once rehabilitated, I think they should almost immediately positively contribute to the economic recovery of this country. And I'm urging government to further be more considerate and do the extensive due diligence when it comes to shortlisting contractors, so that one, of course, we're not extorted, as the case has been in the past, and that the quality is met. You know, so much money has gone down the drain where we pay 3-4 times the price of or the cost of a road, and the quality has not just met what we require. So I think government should do the due diligence as they look at shortlisting contractors for future infrastructure development. Thank you.
Socio-economic and investment monitoring analyst Peter Mumba says improving transparency and accountability in the management of public resources is cardinal in realizing social sector goals for Zambia. Mr. Mumba has advised government to continue pushing the agenda of good governance in the public sector to ensure better service delivery and improved accountability. He suggests the government also needs to step up efforts in prosecuting individuals abusing public resources. Mr. Mumba, who is also a member of the Zambia Tax Platform, ZTP, emphasizes enforcement mechanisms to promote good practices in the management of public resources can only be applied by government itself. The organization has also urged all other actors in the development process to continue to demand for transparency and accountability.
Presents itself with a number of issues. Some of them include very high pupil-to-teacher ratios, especially in rural areas, lack of medicines in hospitals and clinics, lack of qualified personnel, also especially in rural areas, dilapidated infrastructure, very low numeracy and literacy rates. So to curb this, the government of Zambia, through the national budget for 2022, has put forward a number of issues that they would like to use to curb these things. And some of these are that they would like to employ more personnel, especially in education and in health. So, in order to achieve the targets set for the social sector, government should continue to enhance the role of accountability and transparency in public finance management. Then government should also step up efforts in persecuting individuals that abuse public funds. Lastly, government should also ensure that public finance information is readily and easily available and accessible to everyone, including the media, the public, and the legislators, so that they can hold government accountable.
We end the news on that note. A recap of the top stories. Mwamba storms the Kasama Central Police Station to understand why a PF official has been arrested. ECL's bodyguard committed to the High Court. Jerome Kanyika accuses ZAMSA management interim of incompetence. KCM provisional liquidator Melingolungu pleads not guilty to 6 new charges of theft. Bizwa Mutale says the PF has reached beyond redemption in its current form. Truck drivers calls on government to rehabilitate a Serenje to Wapula Road. Thank you so much for watching the news. Continue enjoying the rest of our programming.
Echoes across Kyiv. But just a few miles from the capital, people continue to seek safety from the ongoing Russian assault. Meanwhile, the mayor of Kramatorsk said 2 people were killed and 6 wounded in missile strikes in the eastern Ukrainian city. On Monday, Russia's defense ministry released this footage, purporting to show tanks advancing towards Kyiv.